Girls have an incredible ability to read body language and facial features. In most cases, they can tell when a person is upset long before the person says anything about it. Scientists believe they develop this way because they must nurture things and form stronger emotional bonds than men. Girls also have slightly better hearing than men, so they can hear a wider range of sounds and detect the slightest changes in your voice. Some studies show that girls can read body language 2 to 3 times better than men, so if you're a beta male, good luck trying to hide it. We live in a world that has caused a lot of men to develop a beta personality. A lot of men have lost touch with their masculinity, and they've resorted to things like calling other guys names over the internet. Many interactions in today's world take place through a smartphone or social media, and a lot of guys don't meet face to face. Some guys are unknowingly displaying all the signs of the beta male, and they wonder why they're not getting attention from girls or why they can't seem to get a girlfriend. The good news is that if you're displaying the signs of a beta male, all hope is not lost. There's a good chance that the only problem is that you've lost touch with your manhood and it's time to get it back. In the animal kingdom, the alpha male is the top-ranking animal within his social group. Depending on the type of animal, the alpha male is chosen through simple play fights with the other males or very aggressive battles. The current alpha in the group must defend his rank against younger males. As the top-ranking male, the alpha gets to choose what females he wants to mate with. When it comes to people, it's pretty much the same thing, but you don't have to fight any wolves or monkeys. The major difference between the alpha among humans and the one in the animal kingdom is that with humans, it's about the mental state. Having decent muscles is always a plus, but in the real world, even skinny guys can be alpha males. You just have to know the signs that you're being a beta male and change them. A typical beta male is a nice guy. The problem is not being nice, it's just that he's too nice. Let me take a second to give you some of the best advice you'll ever receive. Everything in life, whether it's being nice, being aggressive, or anything you can think of, comes down to moderation. There are times when an alpha must be nice, but the difference is that the beta male is nice all the time, as opposed to some of the time. He doesn't show self-control, and he's nice to everyone, every time, in every situation. The second major sign of the beta male is questioning your ability. A beta male lacks the pure confidence that is held by the alpha. The beta male constantly second guesses himself and makes excuses to not do something, even if he can do it. A great example of this is repeatedly asking your girlfriend for approval for your outfits and most things that you do. If the beta male doesn't even have confidence in his ability to dress himself, then how can he expect girls to trust him? The third sign of the beta male is constantly worrying about what others think. The beta male doesn't do many things in life because he cares too much about what other people think of him. He might not go swimming because he worries about what other people think of his body. He avoids fun events with his girlfriend because he's afraid of what others will think of him. The beta male even worries about what family and friends think of him. In the end, he lives a boring, unfulfilled life because he allows the opinions of others to stop him from doing what he wants. The fourth sign of the beta male is putting the needs of everyone else before his own. As mentioned earlier, it all comes down to moderation. The difference is that the beta male always puts everyone else's needs before his and is unable to selectively choose when to put the needs of others in front of his own. The fifth sign of the beta male is that he is secretive and doesn't make his desires known to others. The beta is like anyone else. He has raw desires, dreams, and career aspirations, but he always keeps these things to himself because he is too afraid to be judged by others. He lacks the confidence to share these aspirations with the rest of the world. Some guys only display 1 or 2 of these traits, but in many cases, displaying just one of these traits makes it more likely that you'll display all of them. If you're unknowingly displaying the signs of the beta male, I've got good news for you. You can start working on yourself, reclaim your manhood, and become the alpha male. But first, you need to understand what it actually means to be an alpha male. The number one trait, the thing that sets the alpha male apart from the betas, is confidence. And if you can master this single trait, most of the other requirements of the alpha will automatically fall into place. The alpha thinks highly of himself in any situation, and he's not always right or perfect, but he believes in his ability no matter what anyone says. The second sign of the alpha is that he's not embarrassed easily and doesn't worry about other people's opinions. The alpha is known for speaking up, going against social norms, and doing what he wants. The third sign of the alpha is masculinity. The alpha male is a real man, and alphas come in all different shapes and sizes. They're leaders, dominant, and comfortable around girls. The alpha is not rude, and he's not a jerk, but he knows what he wants and he takes it. With this state of mind, he makes requests and does things that beta males won't. The alpha is direct and honest, never afraid to speak his mind. He is direct in his communication, and if he needs something, he'll tell you directly. The alpha male is also social and has a dynamic personality that allows him to connect with many types of people. Another major feature that sets the alpha apart from the beta is his ability to take chances. He isn't afraid to take big or small risks, and he knows that success comes only from taking chances, which is why he's not afraid to fail. Now that you understand the differences, you must learn some simple tips that will help you start transitioning into the role of the alpha. To become the alpha male, deal with your fears and stop running from them. At the core of every beta male, you'll find self-inhibition and passiveness. The fear can appear in many forms, and like confidence, fear is like a seed. Let's say you want to approach a beautiful girl, but you start thinking about all the things that could go wrong, and you abandon the idea. At the exact moment that the fear won, a little seed was planted in your head. The next time you want to take a risk for yourself and get too scared to do it, that little seed will grow, and over time it will become so big that it will overwhelm your entire life with fear. Before you know it, the fear will feel so strong that approaching a beautiful girl will literally seem impossible. And the crazy thing is that this giant tree of fear grew from some imaginary seed. The fear was never real to begin with, but you gave it power. To become an alpha male, you must always deal with your fears and never be afraid to speak up for yourself, even if you don't need to. The second step to becoming an alpha is to be okay with conflict. Realize that you'll always have conflicts in your life, whether it's with a girl, a close friend, or the guy at the DMV. And instead of getting aggressive, learn to be okay with the conflict. The third step to becoming an alpha is getting over your self-inhibition, which means to stop being shy, feeling scared, and feeling inferior. You can't be an alpha when you're constantly thinking about your problems and flaws. The fourth step to developing the alpha mentality is learning how to be assertive. Assertiveness means to stand up for yourself without being aggressive or passive. If the guy at the movie theater did you wrong and made you pay $9 for old stale popcorn, you don't need to punch him in the face. You also don't need to tell your girlfriend about it in a passive, negative way. If the alpha paid $9 for popcorn at the movies and got a stale batch, you better believe he's going to stand up for his rights and get some fresh popcorn. Being assertive is really just standing up for your rights in a non-aggressive, non-passive way. To become the alpha, don't be a follower, and realize that this has nothing to do with becoming a rebel. If it's required, the alpha can be a follower, but when it comes to important decisions, he always has his own sense of direction. He doesn't ask his friends if he should go to college or become an entrepreneur. He doesn't ask his friends if he should stay with this girl. He has his own compass, his own sense of direction. One of the biggest mistakes that guys make when trying to transition to the alpha is unknowingly becoming an aggressive beta male. The only thing that's worse than a beta male is an aggressive one. You have to understand that being the alpha does not mean going from one extreme to another. It's like the guys who are secretly soft but go to every extreme in an attempt to convince others they are not soft. You don't have to get arrested to make yourself look tough, and you don't need to cover your body with tattoos of skulls and barbed wire. When you go to extremes, such as being overly aggressive, you're displaying behaviors of compensation. In other words, you're being too aggressive or too mean to compensate for feeling too soft inside. People go to extremes in one direction to try to prove that they've never been in the other direction. An aggressive beta male is the worst thing you can be because you're not an alpha, but you're also not even a beta. You'll just look confused about who you are, and girls will pick up on this quickly. Remember that girls are like metal detectors, but for people. With a quick swipe of their eyes, they can see what's hiding just beneath the surface. With that said, I love you guys, and I wish you all an amazing 4th of July. And be sure to leave a comment letting me know what is stopping you from being an alpha. And until next time, thanks for watching.